Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my hope that you had a peaceful night. Ruto's speech in Parliament was divisive in nature. William Samoei Ruto is turning out to be a symbol of national disunity. You know, the president is supposed to be a symbol of national unity. But William Samoei Ruto is coming out as a symbol of national disunity and national division. And when you hear him talking about the DP who became the opposition and the president who became the chairman of the opposition, this in itself tells a lot about the president. It tells of somebody who is very bitter. It tells somebody who is having grudges. The country is already divided into two. We have the blue nation and the yellow nation. That's a fact. And today, William Samoei Ruto needs to know that he needs to bring the two nations together. Because up to this moment, there are some Kenyans who don't believe that William Samoei Ruto is their president. That one I can tell you. Listening to the people along the streets, in the estates, in the villages, there are some who still believe that the change has not yet come. They have not come to cope or to term with the presidency of William Samoei Ruto. And he has a big task ahead of him of uniting this great nation. Lakini kile ambacho tunaona ni kwamba ni mtu ambaye analeta utegano kati ya nchi. And the speech make people even bitter. It make the citizens ask many questions about the president. Kwa sababu ukiangalia utaona kwamba it's like he was mocking Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. When he was saying this, it's like he was mocking Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And you remember his meeting with Uhuru's cabinet, which in itself was nothing but mockery. In fact, it was meant to humiliate them. It was meant to mock them. And he has gone ahead now, gone to parliament, and now he is mocking the parliamentarians who are actually in Azimio. And again, when you look at what is happening, is that when you hear him talking about adding a shilling for 2 shillings saved, this one, to me, appears like a pyramid scheme. It's like a pyramid scheme, for sure. Because it's only in pyramid schemes when you are told to do this and do this. Although in the private sector, it is done this way. That one is done in a very harmonious way. Lakini hapa, ukiangalia utapata ya kwamba we have about how many people? About 16, 20 million Kenyans who are in the informal sector, because these are the people who are being told to save 2 shilling to get 1 shilling, up to a maximum of 6,000 shilling. And that is per annum. That means about, I think, 500 shillings per, is it per month? Yeah, per month. And eventually, the government will have to cough 50 billion shilling every year to top up this. And this is a country where we are saying there's no money. So even that bad news, when he said he had bad news, he has news, but not very good. I think the news, according to me, are not true. Those are not the facts. The country is not broke. I can say this without fear of contradiction. Because did the country become broke one day? How are we managing the affairs? Yes, we don't deny that we have debts. But you see, what there is that the Kenyans are being taxed from the hair to the nail of the legs. Wanalipa kodi usiku na mchana. Those who are in employment, pay as you earn. They are paying almost 30% of their monthly salaries. So the government has a lot of money. And what we need to say is that Ruto is not actually addressing the real problem. Because the real problem in this country is corruption. So the reason why he is not addressing corruption, I don't know why. Kwa sababu kulingana na the former regime. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta himself said, this country loses 2 billion shillings every day. Na swali ambalo tunafaa kujiuliza, je, ni kweli kulingana na the new administration, according to William Samoei Ruto, is this a fact or a fallacy? Is this what is happening now? Because if we don't stop corruption, I think we are not doing anything. We are not going anywhere without stopping corruption and its ugly face. The other thing is that when you look at this issue, utapata kwamba he did not also talk about the education sector. Because you see, when you look at the education sector has many challenges. Many challenges. The CBC is there. It will be double intake next year. So in 3 months' time, we are talking about double intake in high school. Not enough teachers. Not enough classrooms. Again, when you look at the school fees skyrocketing, parents are crying. They are being charged. Kila kitu wanalipa. Now, even when Makoha used to maybe try to tame the structure of school fees, what we have is a situation where the parents are paying a lot of money. The other thing is that when you look at the same education sector, you see that there are so many issues that need to be addressed. Again, the skyrocketing prices were not addressed. You don't talk about this. Kenyans are waiting to see when the price of commodities will come down. The price of fuel, Kenya want to see, want to buy fuel at Kenya shilling 100. It's possible. Kenya want to see the price of food at Kenya shilling 70. This is not addressed. Remember, Kenya Kwanza had promised to bring the prices of commodities down on the first day in office. And we are not seeing this. And when you look again at his speech, we see a man who has not come to terms with the reality. In fact, William Samoei Ruto does not believe that he won the presidency. He has not come to terms with the reality. Because even when you look at the speech itself was short, meaning it has very little substance. Yes, it was short. It was not precise. And somehow, it was not very presidential. It was somehow presidential, but not presidential. It is lacking. So the speech writers have a lot to do to ensure that, to fine-tune this speech, to ensure that always the speech becomes presidential. Because what we saw is a speech of the president who seems to be on the campaign trail. The bottom-up economic model, the what. Ni siasa tu. Siasa zimepita, siasa ziko nyuma yetu. Politics, campaigns are behind us. And we should move forward to build this great nation of ours. Because if you keep on lamenting, if you keep on witch hunting, if you keep on blaming Uhuru's government, then we have a lot of things to do. Kwa sababu, being the CEO, he should provide the direction. Kwa sababu ukiangalia utaona kwamba yale ambayo anasema that we try to save about 300 billion this year so that we can come out of debt and so that we can start spending money in development. You see, in Kenya, there's been a lot of development. You cannot deny that fact. In fact, the question many Kenyans are asking, will William Samoei Ruto be able to keep the pace of development, especially infrastructure, in this country? Others are asking, will he be able to maintain the already built infrastructure, leave alone starting new projects? Because when you listen to him, you see somebody who is not very committed in the area of infrastructure. He's talking about housing. Let's see how it is going to work. The other thing is that when you look at the president's speech, it took a very short time, that 4 minutes. And everybody was like, why such a short speech? Why? And there are so many issues to talk about, and they need to be addressed in a very comprehensive way. And there are so many sectors of this country, because I think a speech that take about 50 to 1 hour, it would be a bit comprehensive. But this one is very, very speech. In fact, this was like a brief. It was not like a national speech addressed. Remember, it was being addressed to the National Assembly and the Senate. Again, that issue of allocating funds to the Senate, I think it is not the work of the executive. The executive have no business allocating money. In fact, it's business, it's spend money that is given or allocated by Parliament. So Parliament, that's why I'm saying that William Samoei Ruto needs to know that we have the separation of power. We have the executive, we have the judiciary, and we have the Parliament or the legislature. So when you see the executive allocating money to Parliament, you ask ourselves many questions. Why is the executive overstepping its mandate? And even that work of giving the judiciary the 3 billion shillings, it's not the work of the executive, it is the work of the Parliament to allocate funds. And even that work of allocating funds to the National Police Service, it is not the work of the executive, it is the work of the legislature. Parliamentarians should allocate money to the various bodies. That is because you see, the Parliament represent the people. So it's the people who give money. It is not the executive. The executive have no business be giving money to various commissions, various bodies. So when you look at the speech in general, it was not inspiring at all. It was boring. It was not encouraging. It was not unifying, and leaves a lot to be desired and need to be refined in future. And being the maiden speech, we can only hope in future we can have a more comprehensive, a more radical speech. And that is my take. Guys, is Clement, the Tourist Man in Black Africa. Kindly subscribe if you have not subscribed to this channel. Comment, share, like, and please, our numbers is always there for those who want to contact us, those who continue to support us. We are very, very humbled, and may you have a blessed Friday. Bye-bye.